So this week, when it comes to Super Bowl 57, we talked about the best bets for the spread and over-under for the game, but we haven't really focused on props. So let's talk to an expert. She's one of my favorite people to talk to when it comes to NFL betting. Her name is Shantelle Chand, and she joins us now. Shantelle, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Super Bowl weekend, always a good one, and there's always some fun bets to make as well. Thanks for having me on, Dex.
Always glad to have you on to talk some NFL betting. But we're going to talk some props today. And Shantelle, what are some props that you are looking at for the big game where you're inclined to go over?
Well, the first one was Patrick Mahomes because he's going to be healthier in this one than he was in the AFC Championship game. Also, in that AFC Championship game, he threw for over 300 yards. His over-under for passing yards is set to 292 and a half. I like the over there because if the Kansas City Chiefs want to win, we're going to have to see Patrick Mahomes sling it. So I like the over there. I also like the over on receiving yards for A.J. Brown. Now, he didn't have the best game in that NFC Championship game. However, I think he's going to want to ball out in this one. He's really good for those short yardage passes, or if you want to get the first down. And I'm thinking that, they're going to have their best cover guy on a guy like Devontae Smith, who gets those big yardage plays. So I like the over there for A.J. Brown, who's going to want to shine out in this one. And I like the over for Miles Sanders on the ground. It's set to 61 and a half. Against the 49ers, who arguably had the best rush defense all year long, he dropped, 42 yards against them? And then against the New York Giants, he rushed for 90. I know the Giants didn't have the best rush defense this year, but I like the over for Miles Sanders as well.
All right, some good overs here. I think in my player prop picks, I definitely also had Mahomes over his passing yards. So I like that one as well, too. So let's look at it the other way, Shantelle. What are the best props to go with when it comes to the under as far as betting on Sunday?
Well, as I mentioned, Devontae Smith, I believe he only had 2 receptions in that NFC Championship game. And I like the under for this one as well. Like I mentioned, the Kansas City Chiefs are looking healthier as well. L'Jarius Sneed is probably going to be covering a guy like Devontae Smith, who is extremely fast. They're going to want to be on him for those big yardage plays. So I like the under there. And I know this is one that people might take the over, but I like the under for Travis Kelce. Now, you have to look at it like this. The Philadelphia Eagles have covered tight ends really well this year. There's only been 2 times this year where teams have had big games against them. One was the Tennessee Titans, and I believe Chig Okonkwo had over 60 yards in that one. And then the Saints had a pretty good game against them, still under 100 yards. But it was still a fact that the Philadelphia Eagles know how to cover the tight end, and they were able to do it against Juwan Johnson, who only had 60 yards. So I like the under for Travis Kelce, and the over-under for his receiving yards is set to 79 and a half.
All right, 79 and a half. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about the over with Travis Kelce because he'll probably be the favorite target of Mahomes in this game, but I can like to play there too. All right, Shantelle, are you throwing some dollars down on any of the exotic Super Bowl props, right? So like the octopus, Gatorade color, national anthem, the first song Rihanna will perform. We talked about all those this week. If so, which one would you go with and why?
So I had to take a look at the Gatorade, being a former high school athlete. And for blue Gatorade, it's a plus 600. And that's kind of the classic Gatorade. I'm actually rolling with the Philadelphia Eagles to win. So I think they're going to be sipping on some blue Gatorade instead of that red Gatorade. I also like Rihanna for plus 600 for What's My Name. And that's going to start off the show for her, because that would be kind of a good opening for her as well. So those are some fun props that I took a look at.
Okay, blue Gatorade over the red Gatorade. It's funny, I picked red Gatorade, which is interesting, and I went with Needed Me for Rihanna to start the show. I think that was at plus 2,000. So interesting props there. Exotic props are fun, right? You gotta like those. I definitely like the exotic props that you can go with there. That is Shantelle Chand. She's one of the best when it comes to sports betting content. Please go check her out. Shantelle, enjoy the big game, enjoy the props, and we will talk soon.
You too. Thanks for having me on, Dex. Appreciate it.